Hi, this practice is called palming for calming. It's a Feldenkrais practice. It's good for any eye issues. It's good for releasing tension at the base of the skull because of the connection between the eye muscles and the muscles at the base of the skull. And it helps to bring us into a parasympathetic nervous system state, which is good to help with pain, to help with anxiety, to help with general levels of stress. So before you get comfortable, it's called palming for calming because traditionally we use the hands over the eyes, but of course right now we're being told not to touch our face. So instead of doing that today, you can use an eye mask or you can use a weighted eye pillow. So just take a moment to get that and we'll get started. So I'm going to assume you have what you need. We're going to just start with a little body scan. So get into a position that's comfortable for you, whether it's seated or lying down, whatever feels best in your body. Eyes closed, just take a moment to settle into your body, settle into your breath. Really allow the surface that you're lying or sitting on to support you and be comforted and feel secure enough to lean in to that support. And then just do a brief body scan. I'm not going to guide you through it. I'm going to allow you to just take your time to go through from head to toe or toe to head and just do a little check-in to see, are you holding tension anywhere? Are there any areas where you're contracting the muscles or tightening or squeezing or holding areas that you don't need to be? So bring your awareness to those areas. Send your breath to those areas and just take a moment to allow those to let go. And if you have more than one area, do them one at a time, notice them, bring your breath to them, and then just allow yourself to let go. And then gently open the eyes, but just keep your attention inward in your body. So the reason that this practice works is because we can think of the eyes as the windows into the nervous system. The optic nerves are the most forward projected extension of brain tissue that we have in the body. And the eyes are kind of like the scouts of our army, if you will. If you remember, the brain, the nervous system's number one role in life is to protect us from real and perceived dangers. So you can think of the eyes as the scouts, always sort of scanning to see what's on the horizon, are there any dangers in the vicinity or not, so that it can warn the nervous system. It's part of why when someone comes up behind us, we can get startled because the eyes haven't given us that heads up. It hasn't given us that warning, that it hasn't processed what's coming for us. So we're going to use calming of the eyes to calm the system. So you're now going to go ahead and close the eyes. Again, traditionally we would put the palms over the eyes. We would cup them with the fingers resting on the forehead so that the palms are not quite touching the eyes themselves, but encircling them. So go ahead and use your eye pillow or your eye mask. If you don't have either, you can use a folded face cloth and place that over the eyes. And take a moment to notice that even though your eyes are closed, you likely are still seeing shapes and colors, almost like a kaleidoscope is going on behind the eyes. And if that's the case, it's an indication that your nervous system is still excited. It's still on. It has not yet dropped down into that parasympathetic state that we're looking for. So notice that. Notice how much activity, how much color, how much shape you're seeing. And then see if you can pinpoint any darker spots. If you see a black spot or spots, focus on those. If there aren't any black spots, just focus on the darkest color that you see behind your closed eyes. You're going to put all your attention, all your awareness on this dark or black spot or spots. And with your breath, try to picture the black starting to take over your visual field. So even though the eyes are closed, they're still working. So you want to stay with this until that black, that darker color starts to bleed into your whole visual field, that whole area behind the eyelids. So use your breath to help you. You can think of breathing black ink into those dark spots. And on the exhales, it's like that ink is spilling beyond the parameters that it was in originally so that it's growing. Until eventually, and it may not happen during the time that I'm talking, in which case you can pause the video and come back when you're ready. But ideally you want to stay here until your entire visual field looks like a black, wet velvet curtain. Stay with it for another breath or two. And this part of the practice is the neuro relaxation phase. So the next step, you're going to keep the eyes closed, but you'll remove whatever you might have over the eyes. And moving the eyes only, so the head and neck stay still, keeping the eyes closed, and only going as far as feels easy for you. You're going to look with the eyes only towards the right ear. Doesn't matter how far you go, it matters how easy it feels in your system. So you don't want to strain the system. We just did that neuro relaxation to get it to soften. Slowly let the eyes come back to the center. And every time you bring the eyes back to center, allow them to drop. You can imagine that you've got a nest of muscle behind the eyeballs, and you want to allow the eyeballs to just fall into the comfort of that nest every time we come back to the middle. Still keeping the eyes closed and moving the eyes only, you're going to look down towards your chin. Pause. And slowly let the eyes come back to really drop into that comfort of their nest. And then moving the eyes only, looking towards your left ear. Pause. Come on back to the middle. Let the eyeballs really drop back. And then look up towards the eyebrows. Pause there. And let the eyes come back to center. Again, moving the eyes only, not the head, and keeping it as small as you need to so that it feels easy. We're going to trace a circle, one time clockwise, one time counterclockwise, using the eyes only. And you want it to be a perfect circle, so no corners, no edges, no lines. So make it as small as you need to be able to achieve that perfect circular shape. So I'm going to let you go at your own rhythm, but you're going to start by looking down towards your chin, and then go ahead and circle clockwise as slow as you need to go to make that a perfect circle. Take as much time as you need. Once you get back to looking down at the chin, you bring the eyes back to the center, relax them in the center for a moment or two, before you then again start by looking down at the chin, and then you circle counterclockwise just once. Keep it soft, keep it easy, keep it effortless. And this part of the exercise or practice is the neuromodulation piece, where we're trying to teach the nervous system now how to modulate so that it's not working harder than it needs to work. Once you finish that counterclockwise circle, allow the eyes to come back to the center. And then we're going to finish, keep the eyes closed. If we were using our hands, we would palm the eyes again, but for today you can place whatever you were using, eye mask, eye pillow, face cloth, place that back over the eyes. And just notice this time when you do that, what does the visual field look like? Do you still have that kaleidoscope that you had at the beginning? Or did you maintain that black velvet curtain where your whole visual field is black? Or is it somewhere in between? And you want to notice the change. So hopefully, having done this practice, by the end here, when you put something back over the eyes, it was darker than the first time we put something over the eyes. If that's the case, it's a good sign that you achieved that parasympathetic nervous system state. You managed to calm that noisy brain, that noisy system. If for you, when you put things back over the eyes, you still saw a whole kaleidoscope of shape and color, then I would just suggest that you pause the video next time and spend longer in that first neuro relaxation part of the practice, where you're focusing and visualizing and meditating on those black spots, and really take however much time it takes for those black spots to grow and fill the whole visual field. So just take a moment here to settle into your breath again. Do one more body scan where you're just scanning either from head to toe or from toe to head. I won't label it, I'm going to let you do that on your own. Maybe check in with the areas that you found were tense previously and see if they remained released, relaxed throughout this practice, or did they tense up on you again? And no judgment. All of these mindfulness, body awareness practices, body awareness and mindfulness are skills. So it takes time, it takes repetition, it takes practice, it takes perseverance for these things, for these skills to become enhanced and easy. So no judgment if you still are holding tension in your body. Just notice it, because knowing what our strategies are helps us to fix them. And then consciously release those areas. You can bring your breath into them. Literally tell your nervous system, I don't need to hold on there. I can let go and it'll be okay. Keeping the eyes closed, let's do 2 breaths together. Nice full inhale through the nose. And a soft, slow exhale through the nose. One more time. Inhale through the nose, fill all the spaces of your whole body. And exhale through the nose. We've had our eyes closed for quite a bit, so introduce the light back gradually. First, keep the eyes closed, but remove whatever you had covering the eyes. Already some light is going to be filtering back in. And then when you first open the eyes, you want to open into a soft gaze first, meaning that you only see what's directly centered in front of you. Everything in the periphery stays fuzzy. And at your own pace, you slowly allow the focus of the room to come back in. And before we end, I just want you to take a moment to notice you can actually move your head in all directions, and just notice, how does the base of the skull and the neck feel? This practice was a practice for the eyes, but it targets the nervous system, which helps release muscle tension in the whole body. And there's a reflex loop between the eye muscles and the suboccipital muscles, which are the muscles at the base of the skull or the top of the neck. So allowing the eyes to release really helps those muscles in that area as well. I hope you feel that. Use this one as often as you need to, and it's a great one to do after having worked on a computer or any kind of a screen.